include and are about people and the value that we can bring to people. And when we say people in business, we're talking about stakeholders, not shareholders. Stakeholders include customers, they include the employees, they include, all of the owners of the company, but they're all players that need to be part of who gets the primary value. And once we start to think that way, and individuals start to think that way, they change the way they relate to their family, they change the way they relate to their business partners, to their employees, to their customers. And that mindset of creating value, of making things better than they were before for people, because people are what drives everything. Once we get that mindset, we're really, really capable then of bringing out the best in folks. People want to work, and especially people who are complaining about young folks at work, they want to come to work in a place that creates value, that matters about doing something that matters more than making money. And every place we've used this approach of teaching people to use this way of thinking, it starts to shift the energy in the companies very quickly and makes a difference in people's lives. So we're just trying to spread that word. If you think about this in terms of politics, we're getting a little help from generate. Are you all getting that little bit of generated sound in the background? Maybe not.
When people use the chat, it goes through George's Braille machine. So,
okay. I just didn't know what the conversation was. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I usually mute Jack. Jack, I usually mute George, but I left him on. Jack, you've got a hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, David. Say, Harvey, is that right, Harvey?
Yes.
Okay. I've got a question for you, and you're probably just in the middle of your talk. I don't mean to interrupt your talk. Wow, what you're talking about sounds very interesting and valuable, to use no pun intended. How do you implement this, and how do you initiate this increasing value among the people, and then of course things and ideas? Just out of curiosity, how do you make this happen?
Well, the entry into companies comes from every possible direction in our experience. I mean, sometimes we start from the bottom up, middle, top, whatever. But essentially, that book that Dave showed you earlier, Answering the Central Question, our central question is, what choice can I make and action can I take in this moment that will create the greatest net value? And we talk to people, leaders in companies, about that question and what a difference it will make if all the decisions in their company come from a legitimate effort to answer that question, and then promise that we'll teach them how to answer it more effectively and teach their team how, and then teach their company how to answer it.
And eventually it goes right out to all the stakeholders, vendors, customers, suppliers, everybody.
Everybody. Yes.
Yeah. It's a mindset. It's really a mindset.
But it truly is. And it's very interesting what we have learned. And I think all of you know that in one way or another, but most of the programming that we have that controls our day-to-day decision making happens before we turn 8 years old. So we have an assessment system that Hartman created that actually helps you understand your current way of making decisions and the current way you are valuing things, so you can start to see how close you are in alignment with the actual natural hierarchy of value. And once people start to see that and understand that, we have a process to help them start to recognize when they get into that place and how to shift out of it to a higher.
So in other words, you actually help people assess where they are in that value hierarchy right away, so then they can see where they stand and go from there to increase their way that they see value for themselves and everybody around them.
Right. And we can do that with a composite kind of report for the executive team to let them see where all the pressures are inside and where the intrigue and the infighting and the confusion about decision making is happening so they can really start to sort it out very quickly.
Wow, what a great concept, especially
Yeah.
for OD people too.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, and what we've learned is that it works to support every OD approach. It doesn't really matter whose program you're using. It's still the people in the organization, one at a time, that either support or interfere with really being able to turn whatever OD approach you're using into reality. People get in the way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to hearing more from you. Thank you. Thank you for answering my question.
Jack, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, a couple of sentences, and we'll go around the horn. And then
Okay.
Harvey.
Yeah, Jack Roddy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And my little note for today is yesterday at Independence Hall, right here in historic Philadelphia, we re-inaugurated General George Washington as the commanding officer of the military army from 250 years ago today. We did the whole we had a little play where we reenacted from Ben Franklin and John Hancock and John Adams and everybody else. We re-inaugurated General George Washington, and we put him on his horse and we marched him out.
Oh, cool.
Pick somebody else to introduce, Jack.
I will turn over to Olivia.
Hello. So I'm Olivia Fargood. I live in Santa Monica. I'm a retired data scientist that has always been passionate about bringing love into business, basically, but seeing how corporate health affects not just profits, but the world. So I'm really excited to meet you, Harvey, and read your book. And I did your assessment, and it was really interesting. So thanks. Nice to be here. Yeah. And I'll call on Joy.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Joy Harris from Joy Can Help Coaching. And I have had the experience of working with large enterprises where we had to perform change management. So my title has been project manager or consultant, but I have had change managers that worked for my project. And as the change manager needs to identify every single stakeholder in the project so that they will know who all is impacted by the project. But now in my coaching business, I'm working with individuals and smaller companies. I am targeting companies more like 250 to 500 employees, but that have a large workforce that work remote. And most of my work, even on these huge corporations, was work from home because they didn't have a place for everybody to go in every city across the United States. So I have a lot of experience with remote coaching of individuals and now working with smaller companies. So I am going to turn this over to Amin.
Hello everyone, my name's Amin Loukil. I'm a former entrepreneur transitioning to academia. So I'm doing a PhD in interdisciplinary studies. One of member of my committee is Duncan Pelly, so maybe one of them know him. So what I'm trying to do, it is much more the psychology approach to entrepreneurship, and what I wanted to do, it is really to conceptualize the purpose driven of the entrepreneur. I believe today there is a buzzword about entrepreneur, and still people confuse, I believe, what is an entrepreneur with business people. And I don't think, as I like Duncan when he said, we can learn about entrepreneurship, but it is difficult to teach to be an entrepreneur. So thank you very much.
You get to choose who goes next, so just select
I
somebody.
will take Olivia.
Thanks. I mean, I already went. So want to pick someone else? Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Jim.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a fine art photographer out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, and that's all I'll share. Let me pick George.
Good morning. I'm an artist, writer, designer, going through hell. Not only is it hot here, but what happened to my house. And I really need David to get back so we can work on a couple projects, just to stay positive in a very greedy, criminal world that we live in today. I'll pick Tom.
Thanks, George. My name is Tom Lemke. I am with Olivia in Santa Barbara, California. Santa Barbara, Santa Monica, California. I don't know where I'm at. And you'll see, thanks a million. My passion is gratitude, and I'm trying to really reach 1 million people around the world and get them in a mindset of gratitude. Also working in the corporate space. I come out of a long corporate background in marketing with mainly retail companies. And I see that, there's a huge opportunity if we can get gratitude integrated like you're doing, Harvey, with other things into corporate culture, we can change a lot about business and help them perform better. I don't know if you can see it on my screen. Here's your question that you pose in your book. I'm really enjoying the book. I told Peter, I took your test, that I burned through 2 highlighters highlighting things because I'm finding that I highlight every sentence in the book. It's so great to read. So welcome. And I will pass to, let's see, who we got here? David.
I'm going to speak a little later, so I'll pass to Alicia.
Alicia, okay, great.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Alicia Diggs-Chavis. I am in Sacramento, California. I'm the founder of Blue Violet Energy Healing. I'm a master energy healer and an executive advisor. I spent 20 plus years in the corporate world in leadership roles, and now I use my energy healing to help leaders find their energetic edge so that they can de-stress, so that they can align their energy and be the best leaders that they can be to create the environments for their teams and their organizations that will help them to be successful, both on the personal level and financially. So that's me. I will pass it on to Vanessa.
Alicia. Yeah, I'm Vanessa. I'm a ceramic artist as well as a Reiki master teacher, and I do trauma-informed energy release and subconscious repatterning of the mind to help release and completely free us of our trapped patterns and traumas. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here. So I'm going to pass it to my partner in life, work, and love, and Lucero, take it away.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I am also a holy Reiki master, intuitive healer. I channel. I'm a psychic. I'm a medium, and yes, my purpose is to honor individuals that come, whether it's in private sessions or in group sessions. And Vanessa and I are also working in certifying more Reiki masters and creating a better world, creating harmony within and without, and spreading beauty and spreading divine love. So, yes, I feel like we were here, and I'm so grateful for David for seeing our heart, seeing my heart, and having a bigger vision so we can all be interconnected and create that type of change. And Harvey, it's so nice to meet you. I'm really excited about reading your book now. When you said about the highlighters, I love that. When you said that, Tom. So I'm definitely gonna get your book as well. And yes, it's an honor to be here. And I'll go ahead and pass the word to Dawn.
Hello, everyone. I'm down here in Tampa, Florida, and I just completed my PhD program where I did research on workaholism. And my research was titled Confessions of a Dying Workaholic, where I interviewed individuals who self-proclaimed workaholics who found themselves dying from terminal illness and other things. And they just spoke and shared their story. Very powerful. But in my day job, I work in corporate America at Corning. I'm the director of strategy and change management. So I love the change management field. That's what I specialize in. But for my company, I do a little bit of everything. OD, process improvement, really whatever they ask me to do. So yeah. And I will, who hasn't gone? Sarita? Did she go? No. I think I was the last one, right?
No, we got Shri, Dr. Shri.
Oh, Sari. I'm sorry. Okay, Dr. Sari.
Hey everyone, this is Shri Melet here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Phoenix.
Part-time women coaches hire me to transform their side hustles into full-time six-figure businesses because many struggle with structuring their offers, managing business operations, and client enrollment. So I help them streamline their processes, attract clients effortlessly, and significantly boost their income. Bottom line, I help them build a six-figure business in 2 years or less, guaranteed. This is the reverse guaranteed program. I'm focused on building a community of women of color entrepreneurs and immigrant women of color entrepreneurs. And I do a lot of mindset work as well. I'm a certified EFT practitioner, have created my own meditations and written a book about them. And so I'm both a mindset and a business coach here in Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks, David, for having me here.
I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're up.
Did Amin go yet? Did Amin get in?
Yeah, he went first.
Oh, you did.
He went
okay.
And third, and then he went again. Okay, so I want to tell you what I've been doing in France here with Grace Ann. We went to the 50th anniversary of Henri Savall's socioeconomic approach, and he's 82 years old. And I think he needs a little bit of help from Don. He's not slowing down at all.
Might be too late.
Might be too late when they're 82, huh? There's a cutoff point, huh? Now it's really good to see how active he is. And he's just a beautiful person. His wife, Veronique Sardet, and they're both retired out of the university system. That's their last year this year. You have to leave when you're 65 out of the public university in France. So it's difficult. The daughter, Amandine Savall, is a millennial, which is very cool. And I taught her the socioeconomics when I used to come over here with Grace Ann and teach it. I taught it for 20 years here. And I taught it for over 20 years at New Mexico State University, the socioeconomic approach. So there's a number of things I want to share with you today. I'll keep it as brief as possible. Number one, we are going to Los Angeles in December. Number two, that conference will have several tracks, so one on consulting, one on coaching. I want to have axiology featured there, and I want to have socioeconomics featured there, the healing arts, and the people that are organizing, Oscar and Barbara and Rico and Ernest. I've worked with them a long time. especially Oscar Edwards, for probably close to 40 years. So they're really good people, and they know the right place, venues, the hotels, the setup. They're willing to manage all the money. It takes Grace Ann and I out of the conference management business, and we show up. So we're going to have simultaneous tracks. So that's going to be different. And then we'll have plenaries, and that'll allow us to have deeper things going on in the tracks. And away we'll go. One of the things that Tom and Olivia and I have worked on is identifying some corporations to start working with. And Grace Ann and I want to fly out there frequently as we can and start doing an OD project with one or two or three of them. This is a good opportunity because Tom identified 250 of them and identified which ones have the highest turnover rates, and a little bit of cost, like what that turnover is costing them. And this will be a good entree for me to go and sit down with them and talk to them. So all I need to do is get Olivia to run that email program that she has, which is like the Cadillac of email programs. It's got so many bells and whistles, I can't figure it out, Olivia, but I know you do. So if we can start peppering them with invites to talk to them about their millennial turnover or turnover in general, I think it's a good entree. And then I've got a lead magnet ebook they can download. But I want to talk to you today about what is the opportunity with socioeconomics, and I'll show you a couple of slides in a second. Now, the net value proposition that Harvey talked about is central to what Henri Savall and his group does around the world. They have 2,300 clients that they've worked with, and they usually work a minimum of 3 years. Some of their clients have been working with them over 20 years. So they really like the socioeconomic approach, and you'll see why in a minute. But just to directly connect with what Harvey said, the creation of human potential is the number one value. Okay. And what we find in most organizational development, except for the people here, of course, is that the creation of human value is the last thing that they're doing. And they tend to focus more on the systems. So that was the third thing that Harvey talked about, and the system of concepts. So I know a lot of things about grounded theory, for example. They spend, I was talking to a lady at the conference, she spent 8 months analyzing the concept diaries in her head that she had collected in her dissertation. And that to me is a reversal of the priorities, because I'd rather spend the 8 months developing human potential. The middle part, the things and the processes in an organization tend to be a big focus, particularly in reengineering and other aspects. So what happens with Henri Savall is he shows people that if you start developing human potential and turn that potential loose in organizational development processes of the social economic, he releases a number of teams that take what's called hidden costs. What are hidden costs? They're costs that are not visible in the annual reports, quarterly reports, the accounting systems of an organization. So it means, for example, if you have a workaholic at the head of the company, even a small business, what'll tend to happen is they do the work of other people. So instead of doing the work they're supposed to be doing, they're doing other people's work, and it's costing them money because that's hidden cost. That people like a small business owners in particular think they're saving money if they can like work on the counter and work in the back room on the payroll and do work in producing the bread or whatever they're doing. And really what they're doing is losing money because they can get those jobs done more professionally by other people, usually at a lower pay. And what are they not doing? They're not working on strategy. They're not working on how to develop their people, for example. And that's the thing that they could be working on that would have the biggest impact. So essentially, what I see with Henri Savall is you have a way with the social approach, working with the humans, and the economic approach to understand that when you don't treat humans and human potential as the number one net value, then your whole company is upside down. Your whole cost structure is upside down. And I'll show you some slides in a minute to let you know how I want to work it. So essentially, I can go to a company in LA and say, okay, so your turnover is costing you $500,000 a year, you know? And you could reduce that turnover by unleashing human potential and understanding the cost of doing business that way. I mean, extreme cost and the hidden cost. And then you could hire me for 100,000. And in about 60 days, I can lower those hidden costs, turn them into revenue drivers by releasing human potential. That's the equation. So in other words, what I would do for a company in turning them around and helping with turnover is I would pay for myself within the first couple of months. You know, I don't cost them anything. I make the money. Let me show you a few slides, and I want to show you how elaborate it is, the methodology, and how simple it is, really. I talked to people at the conference that Grace Ann and I were teaching there every year for about 20 years. And some of our students were there and their students were there. And a single socioeconomic intervener, we call them intervener, they saved millions of dollars in that company within a month, you know? And it's no surprise when you look at what they're doing. So let's take a look at that.
David started screen sharing. Double dash click the enter.
I'm going to mute you for a while, George. No offense. Okay. So let me see if I can get this to show up. Okay. So that didn't show up. Let me see. Microsoft. Share. Okay. There you go. Now that'll disappear. Okay. So we start just looking at some basic categories, working conditions, for example, flimsy partitions between offices, the work organization, the kind of procedures. We look at very basic stuff of communication, coordination, cooperation, time management, who gets trained, who doesn't get trained, strategic implementation. So these are all affecting the people side of the organization. So these 6 categories is something we start taking notes on. And all we do is observe and go to meetings, do interviews, a few focus groups to find out what's going on. This is the 4-leaf clover. Those 6 items are up in the top. They call them dysfunctions, like dysfunctional way to treat people, actually. And then there's structures and behaviors, and there's things that impact hidden costs. So won't go into everything. This is my own drawing. I think you probably like the other one better. Each to their own. So it has three axes, Axis A is to, once we've identified where those hidden costs are happening, we develop teams that do diagnostic project implementation evaluation. We teach the team tools and time management, what's called the piloting logbook, which is just recording where our observations in kind of a diary form, verbatim notes on what people are saying is going on. And we start asking them how frequently it happens, and we develop action plans. We start to identify competencies, like mostly people are in jobs, maybe they don't have the competency fully to do. And so we identify what competencies they need and where they're at now and how to get those competencies, usually training or apprenticeship. Then we develop a strategic action plan. It's a little bit bigger, broader. And then we negotiate contracts. By contracts, I mean if that team, through their diagnostic project implementation and evaluation of results in Axis A, can use the tools and generate more income, reduce cost. Henri Savall's method is they get a piece of the pie. So it actually is an incentive plan. And then in the long term, we change the political strategic decisions, rules of the game, resources, technology, et cetera, product market. So we start to shift the whole strategy of the company. Here's another way to look at it that I've developed, and it's a little bit different rendition. The big mover in this is the DPI, diagnosis, project implementation, evaluation cycles. And we get those cycles moving, say, after the first 6 weeks. We have enough information, qualitative and quantitative, and financial, to figure out some of the moves. And we co-create those moves with the client, and off we go. So we do several cycles. We work in horizontal and vertical action. So that means we have horizontal groups and we have vertical groups, groups from different levels and groups across the same level. And they form the DPIs. We teach them time management. I'm not going to go through all this, but we have specific questions. And again, I trained people in this for over 20 years in France and in my university. Then we have other forms, other procedures. We do other kinds of things to help understand the priority action plan. That's what this one's about. So we can start figuring out some schedules, et cetera. We do a competency grid that I mentioned. So what current practices are mastered or full square, occasionally not ordinarily mastered, kind of a half square. They have neither theoretical knowledge nor practice and has to be created. So these are just tools we use for, this one's about strategic planning. And in that way, we develop the whole scenario of what needs to be done. This is a model for calculating hidden costs. On the left side, we have the indicators of hidden costs like absenteeism, injuries, turnover. That's a big one we're going to go in on. Non-quality, non-productivity. So the usual stuff, but we relate it at a deeper level. So, for example, if they're assigning people the wrong jobs, they're paying more money, usually more overtime, consuming more resources, not creating the potential of the humans, et cetera. So it gives you an idea that we actually have tools, and I could teach people pretty quickly. And I want to teach people on the ground, like Lucero. Get ready, Lucero, Vanessa and Tom and Olivia. And I want to show up there and and hit the ground running and do some turnaround. Now, what's the reason we do this? Because we believe in human potential, and we believe human potential is being wasted in most organizational development efforts. Most OD efforts don't measure anything. It's just a lot of flip charts and things. One of the things I like about Harvey's approach is you can take that test, the hierarchical value test, in about 20 minutes, and you have an empirically valid instrument to measure where those value priorities are at and where they could be at with proper consultation and coaching. So it really gives a nice quantitative indicator, and it sets in motion a way of rethinking. And I think it relates to coaching that we're talking about amongst many of us here, because for success coaching or for holy fire coaching or whatever we're doing, we want that human potential to be built. We want that net value to happen. I know with holy fire, we have the 5 pillars. I mentioned them last time, and Lucero didn't get mad, so I'm going to mention them again. That to be kind to every living being, right? And to not worry, right? To be in gratitude, right? To not engage in anger. That's a big one for me. I was working on that one today. And then there's the not to lie to myself or others. So those kind of things, I believe, are related to net value. And I want to show it more explicitly in the book. I've got the book just about together. In fact, I ended up producing 2 versions of the book, and I have to integrate them into one. I should have it ready in a couple of days. I want to have it ready before I go see Harvey, that's for sure. And I want to have it ready as a training manual with some of the input I just gave you. And the book would privilege axiology, the socioeconomic, I think would be the 2 main thing, and the purview, 7 steps that we've been going over. So that's the 3rd thing. And we want to focus in on my friend David Trofimo's work on auxiliary assumptions. And I won't get into it today, but I think it does relate to the value premise in a big way. So those are some of the big deals for me in the last week. Henri Savall said I could set the agenda for next year's conference here in Lyon this time next year. I thought that was very generous of him. He might need some help from Dawn, though, to fulfill that commitment, But I want to have your input now. We can do it in breakouts, or you can talk a little bit here, and we can talk about other things. But I want a game plan for going to LA. I want to know if we can get some things going by December, so that about 5 of those 250 companies are guests to our event. And at least one of them, we got a solid case study done, Oh, by the way, because we actually go in and do something that is measurable, we charge a lot of money for this, and we deserve it, because we make a release of human potential that creates revenue, that's stuck. And we create positive relationships among people. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. but they're going to need a lot of coaching. And I told Henri Savall, I said, okay, it's one thing to have all these numbers and charts and everything and hidden costs, but this is a people business, and people got egos. People got huge egos. People got inner child issues. People got critical self-talk. You got to work them on those areas, and just showing them the numbers. If it was about the numbers, people would turn around automatically, and we wouldn't have any need for organizational development. That's maybe extreme, but all right, it's your turn to talk. I'll be quiet. So tell me what you want to do.
I have a suggestion. I've thought it through and also pretty much mapped it out, which would be to start doing webinars on this to get people. So I think we can reach out directly, but also attract people who feel these pain points to come to webinars. And then from there, we can get them into a call with you, or, take it from there. We can brainstorm about what that next step would look like.
Okay, so you'll send out a thing to 250 of them. You got their emails. It's all in the spreadsheet.
I will.
I love to do webinars.
Yeah.
What do y'all think? You up for that, or you not up for that, or what?
Yes, let's do it.
Up for it. Some of you will work remote. Joy will work remote, and some of you will fly to LA in December, and some of us will be on the ground just going to LA, and hopefully, where is she? You're on my screen there somewhere. Alicia, maybe you can take a trip down from Sacramento and help us.
Easy. That's exactly what I was going to say. It sounds amazing, and yeah, I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump away, so I'm there.
If anybody has ideas, things we can do to make this dream come true, I would like to hear it. And Sheree, we need a business plan. We need to make this thing happen operationally. So,
I think my contribution would probably be more on the mindset and tapping and changing people from stuck places. I don't think that I'm not a corporate business person, but I'm certainly a people person in terms of helping change people. I'm not sure if I fit here. I'd love to come to LA. My daughter's in LA.
I will make you fit. I will open up a space of fitness for you. Okay. So I don't know if Joy or Vanessa had your hand up first. I don't know. One of you. Go ahead.
I'll go. I was just gonna say one thing we can do is the manifestation formula that I love to share, and we can create a list for our ideal client, and it can be a collaborative effort. We could, it could take 10 minutes. We could take 1 minute, and we can each write down qualities of the people that we want to attract, that we want to work with, and then we can kind of create a collaborative list and build that, because in my experience, it works every time. So I highly recommend it. And if anybody wants to get a copy of that manifestation formula for themselves, they can leave their email in the chat. I can send it to you. But if anybody else likes that idea, we can explore that. Let me know.
What about doing a Google Doc where we could start populating it? You could even and have the overview in there so people could
or putting our information in Basecamp. We have a spot in Basecamp that we have a lot of members already signed up for, and there's a lot of value in using Basecamp. I think Google Docs is good, but Basecamp's pretty flexible.
That's great.
Okay, is that something that was already signed? I haven't joined that.
I think Ken sent out an invite, but he could do that.
You can.
I will send the invitations again.
Okay.
Look for them.
There he is. I was just going to speak for you, Ken. But no, I wasn't done. If someone put my hand down.
Go ahead, Joy. Keep going.
Well, thank you for mentioning that there is an opportunity for those of us who work virtual to be part of the LA experience, because it's pretty exciting for me. But what Olivia was mentioning is to have some webinars to introduce people to the idea of coming to a workplace in person to get the full experience. And I'm not familiar with your method, Vanessa, but I'm going to put my name in the chat to know more about that method, because it sounds like you said, if it works like every time, then I should probably pay attention to it. But certainly webinars to introduce people to the cast of characters and to what our vision is and our mission is to help, companies save money by relating to millennials and by relating to people. And I think everyone here has said, more gratitude in the workplace, more love in the workplace, more joy in the workplace, the feeling of joy. Not joy the person, but joy, the feeling of joy is what I'm all about. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to put together some webinars that really help gather the email addresses of people who would be interested in something like this. So great idea. I'm on board. So please, invite me to any other work sessions that we have, or put your information in Basecamp, because I use Basecamp in my own business for my small team. I have a team of 3 and several volunteers, and then I'm part of Ken's Basecamp, and there's a lot of good information in there.
Well, I think that's great. Amin, I see your hands. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to know if we can talk about knowledge mobilization about the product. What I'm trying to say it is what kind of audience you're looking what kind of audience are you looking for? Decision maker? Are you looking for, to persuade the people to change? It is all about, as you said, about human being. And when Simon Sinek said 100% of people are customer, 100% of people are employees. If you don't understand people, you don't understand business. And now with a new generation, everyone, you know better than me, and I was always entrepreneur. I never work in a multinational or big company. I believe it is all about to persuade the people, the leader on the brackets on the top, and to tell them what is the difference between the performance and the trust. And why not, after we can promote that via LinkedIn, social media, about with your network. Me, I already start to talk about example, the work of Dr. David and Grace, Dr. Grace, and about their book. I started to promote that to some scholars. They working in the indigenous field and things like that. It is all about connection, I believe, at the beginning. But Olivia, she's right. So maybe to do like Google Form or what she said, Joy, she said as well, we can use your Basecamp or whatever. And Evan, Vanessa, you've got so. That's all.
I think that's great. I mean, thank you. Let me ask Harvey a question. And Harvey, you could say no. It's okay to say no. My understanding is people could go to your website and take the value hierarchy test.
Yes, I was just going to volunteer that before you brought it up, but absolutely.
If you make that available in the chat, in the link, maybe and give us permission. I don't want to overload you with having to do too many profiles, but
Yeah, Dave, let me talk to Pete, because what we'll do is we'll create a link for your event.
Okay.
Okay, so then we'll know when they come in, we'll know they all fit into your category.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll get you this week. This week we'll get you a link this week.
Well, thank you, and I'll share it when we get it. So what I'm going to ask is, when we get that link, it only takes about 20 minutes, and I think you're going to be astonished by the report you get. It's a rank order. You rank order these value categories, and then you rank order them a second time, and from that, they build at least 6 dimensions of you. So it's empirical, it's validated, it's been tested and retested and qualified. So I was amazed. And when Peter went through the report with me, I learned a lot of things about myself I didn't know. And I thought I knew everything, you know? Yeah. So I know Tom has done it and Olivia's done it. Did you sit down with Peter, Tom, and go through it?
I did, David. It was exactly right on. I learned, like you did, a lot about myself, but it was also very, very accurate. So I would encourage anybody to do it and try it. I think I want to say 36 questions, something like that. But yeah, it was very effective.
Yeah. And I think Olivia probably did it too, right? So
Right.
talk to Peter.
Yes. Yeah. So Tom and I are both going to do his training, which is really great. And it's 18 questions, but you're actually just sorting them. It's not like you answer. It really is fast if you.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it's not.
simply rank order two sets of 18 phrases.
Thank you.
And the phrases are all value laden, and it's when you look at these phrases, you define them the way you think about things. You rank them in order of the value you perceive they have. And there are 6.4 quadrillion ways to rank order 18 things. So everybody here will rank them differently based on how they judge the meaning of those words. And we get very accurate results.
That's beautiful. Let me shout out to Carol Gorlick. I don't know if you're following what we're doing. We're going to Los Angeles for our annual conference, and we want to get some corporations working together with us to do the net value that Harvey talks about and to do a socioeconomic approach with SEAM. I think you know Veronique Sardet comes to your conference sometimes, and also Pierre Ladage. So anyway, you want to say hello, Carol?
I would like to say hello. I very much wanted to be here, and I was on back-to-back dissertation defense with OD and C doctoral students. So I apologize. I can't be in two places at once. And I gather what you're talking about is Peter Demarest. Is that the value thing?
Yes, it
You're
is.
talking?
And
So
his partner, Harvey, is here today. Yeah.
well, I'm so excited, Harvey, to meet you because I met Peter at ODN list year.
Okay, yes.
And it absolutely changed my perspective. I'm going to give a testimony publicly. I took it because I wanted to please Peter at the ODN, and it blew me away. And then I took the course. And it's beyond understanding your values. It's getting a whole different way of looking at how you approach life.
Yes.
And you ask what you call, you can do it better than I can, the central question. And if that becomes like brushing your teeth, you'll not understand why you never did this before.
That's beautiful, Carol. Let's see, a couple of people have their hands up, but I'm going to do something with Dawn here. So Dawn, Joanne Martin, the Stanford professor, I believe she's retired now, but she wrote a nice piece on a woman who worked for a big company. And this woman was pregnant and she was a vice president. And the CEO had cameras installed in the delivery room so that she could keep working during her delivery and after the delivery, and expected her just to keep working at a steady pace. And so Joanne Martin did an article, if this was a man and was having some sort of, I don't know, prostate surgery or something like that, nobody would ever think of installing a camera so that man could keep working during his recovery, you know. But it just, the workaholic boss is such a big thing that has their net values upside down, you know. I just thought you'd like that. But let's hear Tom and Joy. You had your hands up. What do you want to say?
David, just so I'm clear on this, the conference you mentioned, I think getting 10 people. How many people were we trying to get at the conference, and what are they? Because we got this database now, we can start with the 250 prospects. So is there some definition around that? Do they have to pay to go to the conference? How does all that work, if you wouldn't mind?
Everybody pays, including me. But I'll be happy with one corporate person that we've done a case study with, and that if we get 5, that would be like Jubilee. For the webinar, we can invite them all, and out of 250, we pepper them a few times. Maybe we get 10, 12, 25, I don't know. To go to the webinar, out of the webinar, we get 1 or 2 or 3 that we start working with, you know. That's so I don't expect a lot. And I'm grateful for one, Tom. I'm grateful for one.
Now, when you say
Permanente.
one, you mean actual somebody that gives us the 3-year project, right?
It doesn't have to be 3-year. I'll take a month.
Or whatever. Okay, but the big ticket.
The big
So
yeah,
so
the
the web
100K, $500,000. Yeah.
Okay, because I see the webinar as a kind of marketing tool that's free, and people just come and we tell them how we can solve their problems. We point to their pain, they show up, and we say, here's what we can do for you, and we give them a little bit of value.
Yeah.
But we mostly incent them to show up, and maybe we could even do a low-cost workshop to give them a little more. We can talk about that. I did want to say, well, I'll let Joy go, and then I have another idea for marketing, but I just wanted to clarify that.
Hi, Joy.
Well, I'm not even sure if my comment fits in well now, but I wanted to say, is Harvey still on the call? Yes, he is. So in college, so this is the 80s, this is a long time ago, I was taking a course about effective customer service. So it was about people. And that professor was all about people in corporations, believe it or not, in the 80s. And we took the Edwards Personal Preference Test. And so I haven't really heard a lot about it since, but it was easy to score. And it took a long time. There might have been 200 questions. And you filled in the little circles, and this was only comparing 2 things, what you like, or maybe 4, what you liked best, or what you would like to be known as. And we scored it ourselves because it was easy to score. You drew a pattern on the little circles and you could score it yourself. And while he was saying almost no one will get 99% or 0, all of mine were close to 99% of 0, which makes me intense or stubborn. I'm definitely this or I'm definitely that, except the 2 that were your ability to give love and your ability to receive love. And those were right in the 50% category of what they would consider normal. Mine were considered extreme. Maybe I've lightened up a little bit, but I do like assessment tests like that. So I'm really looking forward to taking yours. And it did teach me a lot. I think it taught me a little bit about being stubborn or being a curmudgeon, but some of what it was, and my career has borne out that I would rather be the producer or the director than the star in the video. And I'm an award-winning video producer, so I wasn't about wanting to be on the stage, but I wanted to be, behind the scenes and promoting others. So that's just a little bit about assessment tests and me. So Oh, Olivia, did you want to go back to your statements?
Well, I just had another idea for marketing, and this values and assessment conversation is so juicy, so I can save mine for later if you'd like. Or what do you think, David?
I see, but now.
All right. Well, so one of the things that's really powerful in LinkedIn to attract attention and get people to see what you're doing and what you're offering is to start a newsletter. And yeah, I could do it or you could do it, but I do have, because I was a data scientist for 35 years early in the field and wrote a few books, I've got over 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. So I might, and what'll happen is we come up with a theme and it can be around this, and then everybody I'm connected to will get a personal invitation. It's a very good way. And so if we make the first invitation just so charming, attractive, then people will want to keep getting it. And then we can send out like once a week a little bit more information about maybe why they're struggling and some things that we could suggest to them. So it has to be have value, but all then leading them to either attend a webinar or come to the retreat or call us for the opportunity to, we say, like, apply to come to the retreat, something like that.
I'm in favor. Let's do it. Yeah.
I also have a lot of connections through LinkedIn in the thousands, so it's a good place to go. And a lot of mine are from being in a retail business, so there's quite a few good people in that pool.
We'll probably have to have a second meeting or second conference in Los Angeles, because the one that Oscar and Barbara will talk to you about, they have, it's for artists, it's for consultants, it's for coaches, it's for people studying quantum storytelling, et cetera, indigenous. So it's got a variety to it. For what we're talking about here, I could see where we have a couple of guests to the conference, 3 or 4 or 5. But it may be that if we get a significant number of clientele that want to show up, then we do something special. And we've talked about it. I know Lucero has a friend that's a chef, and Vanessa, and maybe we do something special, that we wanted to do, and we do it in a real focused way, so no reason we can't do both of those. Anyway, I'm going to be on Southwest Air flying from Las Cruces to LA. I hope somebody's got a bedroom in there or something I can stay at, because I want to go stay in LA. I love LA. I don't know why, but I lived there 15 years, and I'm anxious to see how it's grown. Yeah. So, but I do need a team on the ground in LA to go with me, and all you got to do is take notes. You don't have to say anything. All we do is listen. The Henri Savall methodology is you just listen, and people will start telling you everything, and you just write it down, and then we talk about it, and we go back the next day and listen again until we got a sense of what's going down and what they could do, and then we start co-creating. So it's not rocket science. It's not even information science, Olivia. It's just listening. It's not that hard. Yeah. Oh, I see. Ken Long, you didn't say anything. Then we'll go to Aman, and then I don't know if there's other hands. Hey, Ken, go ahead.
Yeah, I recommend that we establish a David Boji purview collaboration space on the web, where each person in this collective that has a gift to offer, place your free gift that will benefit somebody in some tangible way with your business card, and that refers to your homepage for your other array of services. But that way you have a constant welcome center that offers 10 things that are going to be of immediate value to somebody just for showing up, and you just leave it like a book sharing spot in your neighborhood. We put your gift there. It should be actionable, and that way you establish a sense of a community of practice organized loosely around your purview techniques.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, everybody, we want them to be.
I've sent the invitation to a base camp area for this project. It's called the Boji Purview Collaboration.
Okay.
And if you already had an account with me at Basecamp, then that's been added to your project list. I just added Carol to it. So if you're in the sound of my voice and you'd like to be added to that Basecamp area for collaborating with this group, I can provide support on how to help you create your gift if you don't know how to do that. Just send me an email it's in the chat, longke@yahoo. I will get you added to the Basecamp. It's very easy to operate, and that's what I'll have to say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Amin, and then Dr. Sri, go ahead.
So I've just sent you a link about the International Academy of Research in Indigenous Management and Organization Studies. And I do remember I've been invited by someone from that I met in Academy of Management, and maybe you know Ana Maria Peredo. I'm not sure if you know her, Ana Maria Peredo.
Yes. Personally, but professionally. We know her professionally, yes.
Yes, so maybe if you would like to grow up the people to come there, you can use as well her network, because if you can see last time there were some quiet people, and with the networking and we newsletter, as she said, Olivia and things like that, I believe you can contact her and try to find out how you can grow your audience. And just something as well, as a Canadian, we are scared now to go to United States. I'm sorry for that. Huh? We are scared in the custom, you know what I mean? And just wanted, okay, it's only for kidding. But anyway, just wanted to tell you that it will be great if you can contact her then. We don't hear you, Dr. David.
I was copying all the chat into a file. So yes, I thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we know of her, and we have an indigenous community. What is it, Grace Ann?
Authored things together.
We've authored things together. Doesn't mean we know each other. We author with a lot of people. Dr. Sri, please go ahead.
I'm actually more than a little bit confused. So we are talking about two conferences, are we? Or are we? So there was one that is for healers and coaches and everyone, and then I thought you started off with organizational management, like working with corporations and stuff. So I'm not
okay
clear what we're talking about. Yeah.
No problem. To be confused, we'll show you a way out of your confusion. So number one, in December 17, 18, and 19 is a conference for a variety, like coaches, consultants, indigenous artists, etc. So that's the conference we've run for 14 years here in Las Cruces. What is it, Grace Ann? Storytelling and organizations. So that's one thing. And we want to get a few guests from the corporate side there, but we don't want to overwhelm the conference. So it becomes just about that. So a second option is if we do the webinar and people want to gather in LA, we have a gathering just for them, and us, those of you that are here, just to do that, so we can focus in particular on that, because we don't want to have 5 or 6 different things we're trying to do and they're not being cared for. So that was my idea, to have us but that's down the road, and that's me being optimistic, you know.
So the conference is the 17th to 19th conference is in LA or in
It's in Los Angeles, most likely Long Beach, but we're still working that out. I'm trying to get Oscar and his group to show up here on a Monday or a Tuesday, and so they can meet you and talk about what they're going to do. Essentially, Grace Ann is the age that she is, which is a wonderful age. I'm 77, and we no longer want to run conferences. You know, this is our second one. We ran a conference for 25 years and very successful and closed it down. And then we ran this one 14 years. So we're good at running conferences, but there's more to life, you know, that we want to do.
So can I ask you, and thanks, Sri, for your question, because it helped me come up with another question. Are you wanting to use part of the storytelling conference to get large companies to pay for consulting as a part of that?
Just want them to be a guest presenter, work through a case or two. That's it. You know,
and that'll just be a track at the storytelling conference.
Or part of a track, probably the socioeconomic track. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Or if we get all into axiology, the axiology track, however that works out. I mean, if 9 people want to do axiology, that'll sort of become a track, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to let Oscar Edwards run it and his crew, and I'm going to try not to run it. You know, delegation, but not walking away. By the way, I had to tell somebody that he can't come to the conference anymore.
You don't need to go into that.
Oh, but not here. But anyway, we got boundaries, and we're going to have good behavior, and people will be cordial to one another, you know? Is a value. I don't know. Well, we've had an hour and a half just about, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And if we do this right, we can get the people from France here, maybe not this year, but maybe the following year. And I'd really like to have them come and visit us again. Yeah, I can't tell you how important it was for me to teach socioeconomic approach to human potential in organizational development. It was just a powerful 20 years coming to France every year and teaching my university, and I miss it so. So I'm anxious to get to LA and get working with some companies, you know. And we did work with public housing, me and Oscar Edwards and I, in Watts, in Nickerson Gardens, Jordan Downs, etc. And we did good. We did good things with people. You know what I mean? People that were mainly women, head of households, and 1,000 of them, you know, and 1,000 units, rather, 1,000 households, but over 5,000 people we were working with. And we brought in the Peace Corps, we got community gardens, we got job training programs, we got just so many things happening. It was a powerful way to connect universities like Loyola Marymount University students and faculty with the community. So a lot of what will happen in the December conference is community-based artists and community people and coaching and consulting, etc. And I have no idea how they're going to pull it all together. I just know that they do good work. They've done it before. They'll do it again, you know? And they really are strong in the community focus. Oscar and I worked with Vice Chancellor C.Z. Wilson at UCLA when I was a prof there for about 6 years. And all I did was go around and write community grants and do community organizing to develop leadership in the community. I almost said minority leadership, but I will never say that again because I learned that white people are the minorities. You know, so anyway, yeah. So it's time to go. I'm going to sign off here and you can have private conversations. So on behalf of the socioeconomic approach to purview and axiology and all that we hold dear about human potential, I'm going to stop the recording.